It was just past 7 p.m. on a rainy Thursday evening when an unexpected knock echoed through the quiet little cottage on the edge of town. Martha, now 58, was folding clothes in her small but tidy living room, her joints aching from a long shift at the local nursing home. The knock startled her. It had been weeks since anyone had visited. She paused, glanced at the door, and then slowly made her way across the room. With every step, her heart raced, unsure why. As she opened the door, her eyes fell on a tall figure, soaking wet, standing under a broken umbrella. And then, her heart skipped a beat. He smiled. "Martha," he said, his voice deeper than she remembered but unmistakably familiar. She gasped, hands trembling. "No, it can't be." Tears welled up in her eyes as her mind flew back 20 years. To a cold winter night. To a young, homeless boy who sat outside her diner, shivering and afraid, with nothing but a ripped backpack and empty eyes. 2 decades earlier. Back then, Martha was 38, divorced, and running a small, failing diner called Maddie's Kitchen, named after her only daughter who had passed away in an accident a few years earlier. Life had lost its shine. She worked hard, kept her head down, and avoided people as much as she could. One icy December evening, she was closing up when she noticed a boy, maybe 12 or 13, sitting outside on the bench. He looked cold, hungry, and scared. People had walked past him all day, barely sparing a glance. But something in her heart whispered, "Don't walk away." She stepped outside and offered him a cup of soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. "What's your name?" she asked gently. He hesitated. "Liam," he mumbled, clutching the warm bowl with trembling hands. "Where are your parents?" He didn't answer. Just lowered his head and kept eating. Martha didn't press. That night, she gave him a blanket and let him sleep in the small storeroom behind the diner. The next day, and the next, Liam kept coming back. Quiet, polite, always helping with chores. She learned he had run away from an abusive foster home and had been living on the streets for months. Eventually, she went to the authorities and helped him get into a group home. They thanked her, told her she had done the right thing. But once he left, she never saw him again. Not a call. Not a letter. Time passed. The diner closed a few years later. Martha moved to a smaller house and started working in elder care. She often thought about Liam, wondered if he ever made it. If he was safe. If he remembered her. Back to the present. And now, there he was. Grown. Strong. Confident. But with the same deep brown eyes she remembered. She stepped back in shock. "Liam?" He nodded. "I've been looking for you for years." Tears spilled down Martha's cheeks. "But, why now? After all this time?" He stepped inside, placing a heavy duffel bag down by the door. "I promised myself, if I ever made something of my life, I'd find you first. You saved me, Martha. You gave me food, warmth, kindness, when no one else even looked at me." Martha shook her head. "I didn't do anything special." "Yes, you did," he said, firmly. "You changed my life." He sat down and began to explain. After leaving the group home, he was moved from place to place, but he clung to the memory of her kindness like a lifeline. He studied hard, got scholarships, and eventually launched his own tech startup. It took years of grit and struggle, but today, he was successful. "I'm not here just to thank you," he said. "I'm here to give back." He pulled out an envelope and placed it in her hand. "What is this?" she asked, confused. "Open it." She slowly tore it open. Inside was a deed. To a new house, modern, beautiful, and fully paid. "I bought it for you. You deserve peace, comfort, and everything good. And, there's more. I'm reopening a diner, in your name. Martha's place. And you're the honored guest at the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Martha wept. But why go to all this trouble for me? Liam smiled, eyes glistening. Because one act of kindness saved me. You planted a seed in my soul. You believed in a broken boy. And now, I get to show the world what kindness can do. Months later. The grand opening of Martha's Place made the local news. A once homeless tech millionaire reopening a diner in honor of the woman who once fed him. Customers poured in. The walls were lined with pictures of Martha and Liam, telling the story of how kindness, no matter how small, can change a life. Martha, now glowing with pride, stood beside Liam as the crowd applauded. I never had children of my own, she said to the reporters. But Liam, he became the son I never expected. And all I did, was not walk away. Final message to viewers. Dear viewers, sometimes we think that kindness doesn't matter. That small acts get lost in a world full of noise and selfishness. But what if your smile, your sandwich, your care is the very thing that someone will remember for the rest of their life? Martha didn't know that feeding a homeless boy would one day build her a legacy. But love, when given without expecting anything back, always returns. So the next time someone knocks at your heart, don't ignore it. Because kindness might just be waiting to come home.